when I was small, about in elementary school in 4th grade, whenever I talked to people, I was always thinking why are people doing this? Why are they talking to me like this?
What do you think helped you get to where you are today, to be able to get that potential acceptance at each of these different colleges before?
For me, I think the number one thing we have to realize when we apply to colleges is that authenticity is key. And what I mean by that is every person has their own personal story and we're all unique in our own ways, and I think it's important for us.
For me, I think my parents are a little different than most traditional Vietnamese families. I think they were very supportive of wherever I wanted to go, even if it was
So when I first started my college application process, my dad said, apply to Long Beach and UCI.
Xin chào quý khán giả của Little Saigon TV, mình là Mai Khang và hôm nay Mai Khang đang ở trường Trung học Westminster và cũng như là chung với 4 em học sinh từ trường Trung học Westminster luôn. Là các em học sinh này là học sinh lớp 12. Các em học sinh lớp 12 này là đang sẵn sàng chuẩn bị cho đại học năm sau. Thì trước khi mình có thể là trò chuyện thêm về đại học thì trước tiên cho cô xin các em, if you can introduce your name as well as you can share a little bit about yourself. Let's go ahead, let's start off with bên Trâm đi.
Hello everyone, my name is Tram Nguyen, and I actually immigrated here when I was 7. I actually went to preschool and kindergarten in Vietnam, Saigon, and then I went to 1st grade to Anderson Elementary here, and then I went to Warner Middle School, and then now I'm here at Westminster High School, and I'm involved in 3 clubs on our campus: National Honor Society, VACC, which is basically our VSA, and as well as Link Crew, and I'm also in the Merits program and did a lot of programs and internships through the program, and now I'm going to be going to USC for after graduation.
All right, we're already talking about commitments. Let's keep going. So Tram, cảm ơn em. Go ahead, popcorn anybody in the group here.
How about you, Timmy?
Yes, so hi everyone, my name is Timmy Tran. I'm also an immigrant as well. I immigrated here when I was around 5, so I attended kindergarten in Vietnam. I came to the U.S. at around 5 again, like I said, and I went to 1st grade at Freiberger Elementary School, middle school at Johnson Middle School, and now I'm here at Westminster High School. Some clubs and programs I'm involved in at Westminster High School include ASB, which is basically our student government at our school, as well as Link Crew, the Merits program, as well as some clubs such as VACC, the Vietnamese American Culture Club, National Honor Society, our Children's Hospital Orange County Club, as well as Operation Be Kind. And I will be attending Harvard University in the fall. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I would like to popcorn Tina.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Tina, and I've not immigrated from Vietnam, but I was born here, and I've gone to Vietnamese school all my life. My elementary school that I went to was Weber. I went to middle school at Stacy, and I'm here at Westminster High School. A few of the programs and clubs that I've a part of is also Merits and VACC, like Timmy and Tram, as well as Engineering Club, which have both made a really large impact in my experience as a student here. And I'm going to popcorn it to...
What school are you planning to go to?
Yes, and I'm planning to commit to USC, but plans may change if I get off the waitlist for UCLA.
Chào cả nhà, my name is Thi Bui, and I immigrated here from Vietnam when I was in 5th grade. So when I first came over here, I went to Sequoia Elementary School. Shout out to Sequoia. And then I went to Stacy Middle School, and now I'm here at Westminster High School. A few of the clubs and programs that I am involved in here is robotics, Red Cross, and tennis. And then last summer, I also did a Boeing internship with Tina, and that was a very good experience as well. And I am planning to commit to Northwestern University, which is in Chicago, Illinois.
All right, and it's so funny because you say chào cả nhà, which is like the slang nowadays to introduce. Yeah, it's totally slang. So okay, so here hôm nay mình có Timmy sẽ học ở bên trường Harvard, bên đây là Northwestern University in Chicago, Bên đây thì cô có bên UCLA, USC right now, but you're waiting for UCLA. And then bên đây cũng có USC. So before we get into the nitty-gritty details as well too, các em, let me know what are your majors or minors that you plan on taking at your colleges. Let's start with Timmy. We'll go around the circle.
Yeah. So I'm planning on majoring in economics, and I also wanted to pursue as well history, because I've always found a passion in history. But I also would love to do economics just because it's been like my thing. It's like kind of my strong thing, my strong subject, and I think that pursuing economics, I would hopefully be able to give back to the community because growing up in a low-income community, I think that a lot of the economic systems and policies that are put in place are very much targeted towards people like me. And I think that by pursuing economics, hopefully I'm able to change that to make sure that our struggles are rather reminders that we can change the world for the better. So that's why I wanted to do economics.
I'm majoring in industrial engineering at Northwestern, and industrial engineering is basically someone who just looks at processes or systems around the community and finds a way to make it better and more efficient. So I first found out about this major and this career choice when I was interning at Boeing, and I met someone who was majoring in industrial engineering, and that's when I first realized that this major existed. And when I learned more about it, I was like, this is kind of like me, because whenever I see something in the community, I'm always like when I go to volunteer events, I'm always like, how can this be better organized so that things can be done faster? And I started researching more about it and researching schools that offered industrial engineering, because this is a very niche engineering major that not a lot of schools have, and that's why I decided to apply to Northwestern.
Thank you. Tina?
I will be majoring in mechanical engineering, and the cool thing about USC was their architecture program as well. I know architecture and engineering are two very lots of work subjects, but I would try and see if I could minor in architecture if that's possible, because I've always really loved buildings, and I think yes. And I think similar to T's experience, with my internship at Boeing, I was under the mentorship of someone who worked at a cryogenic facility, and I made a prototype for them. And so that making that project sparked such a strong passion, because I was like, man, this is exactly what I want to do in the future. And so that definitely correlated to my mechanical engineering major.
So for me, I'll be studying computational neuroscience at USC, which is basically a mix of computer science and neuroscience. So what I would be doing is I would be applying math and computer science and coding to be able to look at brains and how the brains develop over time. And what really got me into this major, and actually in fact, USC is one of the very few schools that actually provide this major, and I was very curious when I was small about in elementary school in 4th grade. Whenever I talked to people, I was always thinking why are people doing this? Why are they talking to me like this? What are they thinking while they're talking to me? And I kind of realized that everyone thinks differently, and I kind of want to know why that happens, and that kind of got me into psychology. But over time, going over high school and middle school, and actually this summer I participated in University Lab Partners summer research program, which I looked at Alzheimer's disease, and that kind of made me realize that everyone is very different in their own ways and how their brain develops, and it's a bunch of different factors that can affect that change in their brains. And that's what's really got me into computational neuroscience, because I wanted to look at programs in Java and coding to be able to see the changes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. So here's my first question. So it seems like a lot of you are going to definitely big name schools, right? We're going to talk about Harvard, USC, UCLA, or USC, Northwestern, right? These are not easy schools to get into. What do you think helped you get to where you are today to be able to get that potential acceptance at each of these different colleges before? So.
One thing that the colleges can really catch when they read your application is how genuine you are being. So if like in your application, I think all of us here really wanted to go to that school, and we imagined our lives at that school, like what it would be like, and that really like shone through in our application. So when you apply to a school, just try to research more about it, watch videos on it, what the campus looks like, or visit it if you can, and just see if you feel like you would belong here. And I think just that like mindset can really guide you through your application.
With all of the different types of mentorship and assistance and advising that you received, like what did you have to do to gain those or to gain access to those?
For me, I'm gonna say the biggest step you have to take is check your emails, because your teachers are always sending out opportunities for you to. I was gonna go to Fountain Valley originally or La Quinta because I live like very close to La Quinta. But what really made me pick Westminster High School was just like Tina, the merits letter. Like
The end of the conversation, they're like, okay, just go wherever you'll be happy and you'll like learn the best. And yeah.
I think the number one thing we have to realize when we apply to colleges is that authenticity is key. And what I mean by that is every person has their own personal story, and we're all unique in our own ways. And I think it's important for us to show the colleges what you can bring to the campus, what your story could mean for others, and how you can impact the school and the culture in there. And for me, what I did a lot when I was writing is making sure that I was genuine with what I wrote about the experiences I've had growing up. You know, especially because as I talked about earlier, being low income, I talked about a lot about, you know, being, you know, poor and having to go through a lot of these financial struggles. And I think that colleges saw that these struggles that I faced were a voice and a different perspective that I could bring to the school, and especially to my classmates and peers as well. And again, just being authentic, being genuine is super important. And make sure that when you're writing, especially maybe some activities or things you love, make sure that you're passionate about what you're writing. Make sure that you show them that you love what you're doing, you love the subjects you're learning about, you love the extracurriculars, activities you're involved in, and I promise you'll go places with that.
I completely agree with both like points so far. I'm not too sure what like made me stand out too much with my thing. I did, however, get a lot of help from my mentors and advisors, and in general with my mindset to going to college, I believed that, I always tell like a lot of people about this, but it's because of my mentors and the people that I've talked to. They've instilled such a strong confidence in me that like I believe that I could do anything no matter where I went. And so if I didn't get into any of these schools, I think I would still be like wholeheartedly super happy with wherever I ended up. And I 100% believe that I could, like, if I made the most of my experiences here in high school, I'll try my best to make the most of my experiences in the future as well.
And just to add in, so I know you mentioned about mentors and advisors, right? And I think, did you all have some kind of mentor? Who were some of these people that were your supporters to get you through the application process, through all of the steps that needs to get taken?
So for me, my freshman and sophomore year, I joined UCI SEAL, and that was basically a program that was offered to me on campus and from UCI undergraduates. And I went, it's basically like a meeting every single Friday, and I went every single Friday, and I met my one-on-one mentor there. Her name is Jen Jada from UCI. If you're watching this, I love you. And she literally edit every single thing on my essay. Every single school that I applied to, she was able to advise me on what I should change, what I should add on. And then I was also in the Upper Bound program on campus, so I also had a lot of mentors and tutors there who also looked over my essays.
So a lot of programs that the teachers have brought in as well too. Okay. So UCI SEAL, Upward Bound.
So for me, I did a lot of advising outside of the school. So one of the ones I did was a Matchlighter Scholars Program, which is a free college program that basically pairs you with a college counselor, and mine was Michael Nugent, so shout out to you. So he basically, same thing with Tram, he basically gave me all the advice, all the editing, all the essay critiques he could give me in order to enhance my essays. And I think that a lot of the things he showed me taught me how to write essays very well, very authentically. And I think, again, that's why I mentioned earlier with my advice, it's really important to be authentic. And he showed me that with the way he asked me questions about what I wrote. And he made sure that I was actually writing things that were true about me and that I was actually passionate about. And then I also had another one. She's not really a college counselor, but she was just a teacher aide. So I did a summer program at the University of Notre Dame this summer, and she was one of the advising teaching advisors, and she said to reach out if you ever needed help. So of course I reached out, so shout out to Insha as well. And she really helped me with my essays as well, making sure that I was writing everything that was true to my story and being genuine and authentic about myself, because I think colleges can really see through you, and just make sure that you are writing to the best of your abilities. And I think that both Insha and Michael helped me write to the best of my abilities and convey my story in the best way possible.
For me, it was my aunt who helped me with the applications. She used to be a college admissions counselor back at her university when she was in college, and she used to also be an English tutor, so she was really good with writing and conveying ideas. So for most of the essays, I just sent it to her and she just commented on my stuff. And because she knew me very well, she could make sure that I was really showing what I love, and she could make sure that sometimes she would be like, this is not your fullest potential, you can do better. So I would go back and think through it again and just write a better story. Yeah.
For me, I think I like to say I had 3 branches of people that helped with my writing. So number 1 was definitely Upward Bound. There were a lot of tutors and advisors that helped me with there. Another one was Project Hope, UCLA Project Hope, and they would come to our school every Tuesday on campus. But during college season, they were hosting online Zoom meetings, so that you can just send in your link, and then 5 UCLA students would go on and talk about what you were talking. So I think that definitely helped me grammar wise in my writing, because I know that I'm not very strong in grammar and trying to convey my ideas. But within that group too, there were a few people who were from our school, and so they knew me and what I was doing at the time, and they also know the programs I was in, and so they could also help me word those programs better. And they're like, oh, I did this is how I worded it, and then you should try and make something similar. And the third one was Miss Gomez from our College and Career Center, and so yeah, I loved talking to her as well, and it was fun because not only did we connect on creatively, I had a lot of hobbies that were similar to what she really liked, but also those are such fun sessions that made me really motivated to go all at it with my essays.
With all of the different types of mentorship and assistance and advising that you received, what did you have to do to gain those, or to gain access to those?
For me, I'm gonna say the biggest step you have to take is check your emails, because your teachers are always sending out opportunities for you to participate in. And even though just reading a bunch of words on an email might not seem like it can give you any benefit, the moment you click on the link, there is so much benefit that you can gain just from doing it that can literally make you stand out. That one opportunity can basically get you into any school that you can basically get into. And the second step, I think, is to actually reach out to your teachers, reach out to peers, upperclassmen, and honestly just participate in school events, because once you participate in school events, it will open you up to so many doors that can be external or internal, and you can just learn a bunch of things from connections that you make.
I would like to say our school is very fortunate because we have a lot of programs here on campus, and like our merits program, for example, that's a STEM program we have here, and they really provide us with a lot of these opportunities and these programs, and that's how we get access to those. But if your school doesn't have a program that gives you other programs like this, you can always go online and research, because there are a lot of programs out there that are willing to help us.
Yeah, I totally agree with what T said. Like again, we're just very fortunate to have programs that actually give us the resources and opportunities. And coming from someone that was able to get resources and opportunities from my own school and outside of school, I can speak about my own experience as well. But like what T said, it's always about just going out there and finding research or researching, you know, some ways that you can get that access to get advice and you know, be able to apply to colleges. And for me, I think one of the biggest steps that I took was checking a lot of websites as well as social media. So I went on Reddit actually, and I actually went to like subreddits such as Applying to Colleges, which gave me some links to certain programs, which is where I found the Match Your Scholars program. So again, it's just all about just finding ways to venture out and figure out what's out there for you, because I guarantee you there are so many out there that, you know, would love to give you advice, would love to pair you with the counselor and a mentor. But I think it really is up to you to be able to take advantage of that and go out there yourself, because in life not everything's going to be given to you, and sometimes you'll just have to take that little step to find that connection and that bridge. So yeah. From community service to cultural to you know, leadership clubs, like there's a club for everybody here, and I found a couple clubs that fit me, and I think that, you know, I hope to bring that over to college as well, because I did talk about this in my college essays.
Traveled over there, and that inspired me to apply to these schools. I made my college list based off of the cities that I wanted to live in, so I would like put down a city and then
Everyone else, I didn't really know. I also really didn't like my name because it was just so Vietnamese, and everyone else had an English name, and I just felt left out.
For the school that you're attending, so again, and especially when it comes to Asians as well, or Vietnamese, I know for me personally, when it comes to choosing a school, I know my parents would have wanted me to go somewhere close to home. And I did. And I chose the school close to home when I could have gone to UCSD. But we were like, okay, no, it's better to be close to home. You guys are taking a big step to go a little bit further away, right? My question here is, have you let your parents know of what schools you have chosen, as well as what were their reactions to you going to these different schools as well?
So when I first started my college application process, my dad said, apply to Long Beach and UCI. And these are great schools, but I visited them and I didn't feel a connection with these schools. Like I was like, I do not want to go here. But I still had to apply because my dad made me technically, but I still made sure to apply to other schools as well. I was fortunate enough to have the fee waiver, so I had the opportunity to apply to a lot of schools, and I was also very fortunate to be able to travel out of state, and I really loved it over there. Yeah, I really liked it when I traveled over there, and that inspired me to apply to these schools. I made my college list based off of the cities that I wanted to live in, so I would like put down a city and then find schools, the schools that are good in that city, and then if they had my major, I would apply to them. So that's how I found Northwestern. And when my dad found out that I got into Northwestern, he was kind of shocked, because he was still like, you should go to Cal Poly Pomona, for example, over Northwestern. But he slowly warmed up to the idea of me moving out, especially after hearing other stories of other students moving out of state. So now he's warmed up to the idea. Yeah,
More accepting of that.
yeah.
Tina?
For me, it was definitely a really long and difficult process with talking to my parents about it. They are very against the idea of me like moving out of state specifically, or like anywhere past a 2-hour radius of like our area. And when I'm gonna take this back to like Questbridge. I got into Questbridge some time ago and with Timmy, and I remember like ranking all of the schools that I was applying to, and the top 5 are like the top 5 were in-state schools, and even then my parents were still like unsure because there was Stanford, and my mom's like, nah, it was all the way too far. But I also had a few that were like out of state, which is Vanderbilt. It was one of the top schools that I wanted to go to. And it was definitely a really long and difficult discussion with my parents. Although I didn't get in and everything is like pretty okay now, it was definitely, it was definitely really scary to like try and open up and talk about where I wanted to go. But my parents are one of like the best, most understanding people ever. And they're like, the end of the conversation, they're like, okay, just go wherever you'll be happy and you'll like learn the best. And yeah.
For me, I think my parents are a little different than most traditional Vietnamese families. I think they were very, very supportive of wherever I wanted to go, even if it was like in another country, like they'll be very supportive of it. But I think over time, I wanted to go to Stanford or USC. Those were my top 2 schools. It just had to be those 2. And if it wasn't those 2, I probably would have picked community college. But obviously got rejected from Stanford. But if I did go to if I did get accepted to Stanford, my parents, I did talk to them about it, and they were just a little reluctant, just because they would think that I would have to drive like back home and back up there for like 6 hours, or just take the plane. And I'm the only child, so they obviously like didn't really like that idea at the beginning. But at the end of the day, they kind of told me like, whatever education you can get, wherever you can go, like we'll support you. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on the same boat with Tram as well. My parents are not like the typical Asian parents who want you to go close. I think they were fine with, honestly, anything. But again, with a lot of Asian parents, they like, well-known colleges, more prestigious colleges. So my dad was kind of like, oh, like you should apply to Harvard, you should apply to Stanford, you should apply to Yale, like the well-known schools, of course. And for me, I think that they were totally fine with me moving to the East Coast. Again, just a little bit reluctant. Like my mom was a little scared because, I've been living with them my entire life. And so to see their child move, to the East Coast, the opposite side of the country for 4 years, that's, a little hard. But they were very open about it, just knowing that I would be able to get a better education, at a top college. And I think that for me, my parents had that trust in me, knowing that I would be able to thrive and live by myself, live independently. And I think they built that trust over time, especially because like T, I did go out of state a couple times, visiting a couple other colleges on the East Coast, in the Midwest as well. And so I think that seeing that I was able to do fine for a couple days, for even like a week or 2, that kind of built that trust in them for me to be able to stay longer. And therefore, now that I'm going to Harvard, I think that they're very satisfied with where I'm going, and they know that regardless, I'll be able to come back and visit them as well. So yeah.
Well, it's a little bit further away, but for you all here, did you all get the chance to choose to come to Westminster High, or was it something like the parents?
For me, my brother went to Westminster High School, and he was going to be a senior when I was a freshman, so it was kind of like expected for me to go Westminster. I did like say a couple of times, like I like jokingly said, oh, like let me go to Marina instead, just because like my brother went to Westminster. But like, I did have that freedom to choose between schools. I think my parents were fine with that. But again, I chose Westminster because I thought that it would be, a place for me to thrive. And especially seeing my brother, I think that he did well in Westminster. Like he thrived doing sports and stuff like that. And I thought that I could follow his footsteps as well. So I think at Westminster High School, what they do really well is making sure that you have access to whatever you need. They accommodate very much to your needs. And I think that one thing that I'll be able to get from Westminster High School is our merits program. I think that they gave me a lot of access to STEM opportunities, research opportunities, and just classes that allowed me to be enrolled in a little bit more rigorous class. And I think that they gave me a lot of like skills and traits that I can bring over to college as well. And even outside of like merits, I also think that the extracurriculars at Westminster are one of the best, if not the best, just because like there are so many things you can do here, from community service to cultural to leadership clubs. Like there's a club for everybody here, and I found a couple clubs that fit me, and I think that I hope to bring that over to college as well, because I did talk about this in my college essays. I wanted to bring my Vietnamese American cultural experience over to college, and making sure that the Vietnamese American community is heard over there as well.
I went to Westminster because it was the closest school to my home, but I'm very glad that I went here because we have so many programs here that allowed me to really just break out of my shell, out of my comfort zone, to explore new opportunities. And one thing that I learned from here is that by having so many programs, I learned to find what fits me best. So I actually joined a lot of clubs, but I didn't end up sticking with them until the end, but I joined new ones, and now I feel like they're my second family. And that skill I think is really important in college, because in college there's a lot of things out there as well, but you have to really find like what are you passionate about, what do you want to be, and who are the kind of people you want to be with. And I think I will carry that on through college. Yeah. And I know that there could be a stigma about Westminster High School out there, but I don't think that's true at all. Like every school has a stigma, and you don't really know what it is like until you talk to the experiences of the people that go there, and until you go there yourself. And I think Westminster High School is a really great school that really cares about their students and offers a lot of great opportunities for them to thrive. Yeah.
My experience is a little silly. I remember being in Weber Elementary School and then seeing the VACC dancers perform at my school, my elementary school, and ever since that day I was like, Westminster High School, done, we're going. And so the cool thing was, like, I was so committed to like just going to Westminster High School. I'm saying this like I'm committing to a college. It's really silly, but because of that, I like still like really reached out and tried to like join VACC, and now that I'm like here within it, I gained the confidence to like go to other like programs and join other programs. The cool thing was I got like that silly letter to join merits also while I was like in middle school, and I was like, that's cool too, I'm gonna join that. And so it was like just a bunch of things. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. These small things are so cool. That just like added up, and so I just wanted to be here. And additionally, with like skills that I've learned from Westminster High School to carry on, there's definitely a lot, like technical skills, there's like a whole bunch of, there's like counting from like my classes, but I would also love to emphasize like what T and Timmy had talked about so far, like with like the opportunities within our school. I know that we have a lot of like CTE pathways within our program and within our school, and in the merits program we also have a lot of like opportunities with going forward with like a STEM like focused major or career, and I think just that like that access to it gave me the confidence to go towards it, and I'm hopefully carrying that confidence on to my college years.
Các em học sinh thân mến, các em có sẵn sàng để nâng các kỹ năng của mình lên mức cao hơn chưa? Hãy sẵn sàng đi, bởi vì học khu trung học Huntington Beach đang bổ sung thêm các lớp giáo dục kỹ thuật nghề hay CTE trong niên học tới. Cho dù em thích về kỹ thuật, y tế, kinh doanh hay các ngành nghề khác, đều sẽ có lớp ưa thích cho mỗi người. Các lớp CTE được thiết kế để cho học sinh có trải nghiệm thực tế trong đời sống. Hãy tận dụng cơ hội này để phát triển các kỹ năng đáng giá, giúp các em chuẩn bị cho sự thành công. Các lớp CTE sẽ khác nhau tùy vào các trường trong học khu. Em nhớ hỏi chuyên gia hướng dẫn của mình để xem các lớp nào được dạy ở trường em. Đừng bỏ mất cơ hội này để khám phá về các đam mê và tiềm năng của mình.
I had a lot of freedom in the high school that I could have picked. I was gonna go to Fountain Valley originally or La Quinta because I live like very close to La Quinta, But what really made me pick Westminster High School was just like Tina, the merits letter, like that I got accepted into merits. That what made me choose Westminster High School. And I think what is so special about Westminster High School is before I came to high school, I kind of didn't really know who I was. Like I didn't know anything about my Vietnamese identity. Like I just kind of felt like everyone else. I didn't really know. I also really didn't like my name because it was just so Vietnamese and everyone else had an English name and I just felt left out. And when I came to the block party at Westminster High School, which is basically like the freshmen, to show freshmen around clubs, I saw VACC, like the first thing I saw was a big Vietnam flag or something like that. And I came over right away and I kind of realized like, wow, like this is maybe the opportunity for me to learn about who I am. And that was the year I interned for VACC, and that's really what made me like my Vietnamese name. Like I like being called by my name now, and I just, like I always used to go by Tiffany because I just hated my name so much.
Never
But
heard of that until today.
yeah, but then VACC kind of made me throw that all away, and then now I introduce myself as Tram.
That's awesome.
So many stories there. So I know I have a couple last questions here. So just to kind of wrap it up as well, what does your future? Let's plan for the next year. Let's start off small, right? Small steps, right? What are your goals by the end of next year after you get through your first year of your colleges? Those responsibilities. You're your own person.
Yeah, I can start. So for me, I think that it's just being able to adapt to like a new college environment, especially because I'm going to a completely different place, not knowing, almost anyone. And so I think it's just being able to find my place in it. So that just means, joining a couple clubs that I feel like I'm interested in, finding opportunities for me to start getting to be well known on campus and making sure that I'm, heard, because I think that's important for us as students to be heard by not just our peers, but also our professors and the administration as well. And so that's my kind of first step, my first kind of goal. But then again, outside of school, there's a lot of things I would love to do at Harvard. Just like the location itself in Boston, I'd love to. This is kind of my thing, I've been telling people this, I'd love to try all the matcha, all the coffee shops around Boston, trying the cuisine there, seeing if it's even comparable to Orange County cuisine, because that's the one thing I'm definitely gonna miss here is the cuisine. And so I just would love to explore. I think that there's so much over there to explore, even the views, the things you could do, even take the Amtrak down to New York. I'd love to explore that as well. And so I think it's just a time for me to explore, have fun, but also make sure to balance as well. So that means going back to school again, just making sure that I'm taking classes that I like and connecting with my professors on a deeper level, making sure that I have someone that I can ask questions for, making sure that I'm learning what I love, and making sure that once I graduate, I can use the knowledge that the professors gave me to, again, go back to the community and give back as well. And just final thing, I just would love to party. Yay, have fun, have fun with others, that's it.
Thank you.
For me, I think a really big thing is to start saying yes, because I think one of my biggest regrets of high school is that I keep saying no to opportunities given to me, just because one, I was lazy, or two, it just didn't sound interesting enough to me. But you never really know until you try, and I think I really would want to get a head start in college and kind of doing the things that I missed out on in high school. So that could be getting an internship early, or doing a program early, and just not kind of have free time. Play hard and work hard.
I really like making arts and stuff, and
So
I was
cool.
wondering if I could try and sell it. And I recently, cause in Westminster Mall there was an anime event, and you could go around and see all the vendors with their art. It doesn't have to be anime, so I'm wow, I can make my art, talk to cool people, and sell it. And I thought that was really cool. And I've even like talked to Ms. Gomez about it, and she's been like talking to me about like the different opportunities and like what I can do to like see like manufacture my stickers or like get art prints everywhere. But yeah, I think I couldn't like really do that right now because I live in a very cramped place, and so furnitures and like all my stuff, and if I like add like a shop like equipment and stuff, it would be like so crowded. So I'm really looking forward to like trying to see with like my dorm with like new like expansive space, I could like try and get like supplies to work on it.
So that's your goal for next year?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
For me, academic-wise, in my first year, I would like to really take a step in my classes, take a step forward and just understand everything that I'm learning. Because like right now here, sometimes when I don't understand a concept in class, like sometimes I would ask the teacher, but other times I would just give up or just like be too scared to ask the questions. So, and then that creates like a gap of knowledge that I could have known. So yeah, I just want to like either ask my professors in college or collaborate with my peers to really understand every single thing that I'm learning to its fullest. And social-wise, like to me, I would really like to explore where I'm going.
At the party?
Oh, okay.
Maybe a little bit of that too. Yeah. I want to explore like every single building, every single corner of campus. And Northwestern is next to Lake Michigan, so it's a beautiful location. Yeah. I want to picnic next to the lake. And Northwestern is also it's technically in a little suburb north of Chicago called Evanston. And it's just like a little community town that is really cute. Yeah. And it's like cute little coffee shops, bookstores, restaurants. Yeah, and I would just like to explore that part of it. And being 30 minutes away from Chicago, I want to go to Chicago probably every weekend because I know could also be a stigma about Chicago, but I visited the city itself and it's not like the other big cities. The architecture is just so beautiful, and the city is impressively clean. Like everyone just has that knowledge to keep the city clean, and it's very well maintained. So yeah, I just love where I'm going.
I agree. And you should go on the Chicago River tour.
Yes.
To look at all the buildings.
Yes, it's
Go to the
beautiful.
bean.
And
Yeah,
all the
the bean
time.
too.
All the time. So it seems like I hope you all get the chance to reach those goals, right? Just 1 year, taking step by step. May is AAPI month, so AAPI stands for?
Asian American Pacific Islander.
Yes, and you're all Asian AAPI here, representation here. So let's say in 10 years or after you graduate from college, do you see yourself giving back to the community? Or how do you see yourself connecting your identity, your culture into the places that you are working at or wherever you are later on in life as well too?
So for me, being my cultural identity and my ethnicity really made me who I am today. I think being Vietnamese and the culture around it, it really shaped me into who I am today, into the hard worker that I am, that we all are here. And so one dream that I've always had is to go back to Vietnam and do something to help the country. Vietnam, especially in the big cities, traffic is very decongested, and that can cause a lot of accidents. And with industrial engineering, with something that I'm going to in the future, I want to be able to go back to the country and do something to help decongest and make the traffic flow better so that less accidents could happen. And that is just one way of contributing, but I also I just want to do something to give back to where I came from. Yeah.
For me, there were like pros of just going out of state or staying in state. And one of the pros of staying like close near home was to come visit over the weekends. And I'm a part of a dance group called Câu lạc bộ Tình Nghệ Sĩ. And I've also usually helped volunteer for my local Vietnamese school. And and that's how I plan to hopefully contribute and still maintain my relationships and connections here and bring back all my experiences from college, wherever I go.
What I've learned in college and also my degree and my knowledge to my family back in Vietnam, because over here it's just me, my dad, and my grandma, so just the four of us here. I don't have any more relatives here, and I kind of want to bring that back to Vietnam and go back to travel to Vietnam and kind of tell everyone what I learned and what the United States kind of taught.
Yeah, and for me, I would just like to first bring up like how did I bring culture to Harvard, and I think Harvard, if I'm not wrong, yeah, I'm definitely not wrong. It's predominantly white. It's a predominantly white institution, so it's a lot more, if anything, I'm the minority at Harvard, and I think that it's important for me to bring my culture there and make sure that I'm connecting with others who identify as Vietnamese and Asian, but just even outside of that, making sure that I'm educating other minorities and majorities as well over there to make sure that they know what being Asian is all about, what being Vietnamese is all about, because it's really all about connecting with others and making sure that you're teaching them your identity, spreading the word, and making sure that you feel heard and acknowledged as an Asian American and Vietnamese American specifically for me.
If I haven't said this yet, congratulations to you all for getting accepted to your colleges, and especially at the beginning of May, AAPI month, right? It's so great to see that we have your identity and representation being shown at all of these different schools. So thank you so much for taking that step, being out there, contributing to our community, right? And we truly hope to see you in the next 10 years to see what you come back with, right? And hopefully coming back to Westminster High School to share more of these experiences that you get to go through in the next